1969, a boy was born in Zurich, Switzerland, into a life that many would envy. He never had to struggle for survival, never faced the hardships that shaped so many great thinkers before him. His name was Alain de Botton, a boy who saw the world differently from the start. His father, a successful banker, ensured that Alain grew up in privilege, attending the finest schools with no financial worries. But unlike many who followed in their parents' footsteps, Alain wasn't interested in power or wealth. He wanted to understand life itself. He began his education at Harrow School, one of the UK's most prestigious institutions. Later, he attended Cambridge University, studying history. But history wasn't enough. He was drawn to philosophy, to the deeper questions that shape everyday life. Seeking more, he continued his studies in philosophy and literature at Harvard University in the United States. Unlike many philosophers before him, de Botton didn't want to engage in complex academic debates. He wanted to bring philosophy to everyday people, those who might never read dense philosophical texts. At just 23, he published his first book, Essays in Love, which became a bestseller and launched his career. He wrote about love, anxiety, happiness, and sadness, things everyone experiences. But writing wasn't enough. In 2008, he founded the School of Life, a place where people could learn how to apply philosophy to their everyday struggles, how to live better, think better, and love better. Alain de Botton did not suffer. He was never poor, never sick, never isolated. But that didn't stop him from thinking, from asking the big questions. Perhaps his greatest difference from past philosophers is this: he found his way to deep thought without deep wounds. Happiness, according to Alain de Botton, is an inner journey that leads to a better understanding of oneself and the world. He believes that happiness is not simply a fleeting feeling or the result of material success, but rather the outcome of understanding and accepting the realities of life. In a world that encourages us to compete and achieve unrealistic standards, de Botton argues that returning to simplicity and accepting flaws is the key to happiness. In books such as Essays in Love and The Consolations of Philosophy, de Botton reminds us that many of our pains and discontent stem from misconceptions we have about love, work, and life. He says, we often try to imitate other people's lives without truly understanding what is right for our own. For example, he explains that true love is about accepting each other's flaws, not insisting on perfection. De Botton also believes that accepting grief and failure is not only a part of life but can help us appreciate the good moments even more. In one of his famous quotes, he says, "If we imagine life without sorrow, happiness would have no meaning." Sorrow teaches us how fragile and yet precious life is. Alain de Botton offers a profound and humane perspective on happiness that spans from classical philosophy to the modern realities of life. He concludes his message with this impactful quote: "Happiness is not found in achieving something, but in learning to live with what we have." The sentence invites the audience to stop endlessly chasing joy and instead appreciate the simple, unadorned moments of life.